Hello there, it's Josiah Zavar from Sing a Songs Multimedia. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to our series on music theory for the worship pianist. Today's video is all about me. Had to get that joke out there. We're talking today about my favorite note to improvise off of, and that is the third note of the major scale, which is called Mi. But it's spelled M-I, not M-E, unfortunately. But it makes good jokes. Anyways, today I just wanted to talk about this super cool note and how it can help you with your improvising. That piano intro you heard at the beginning was just an improvisation in the key of C major, and I was just basing it off of the third note of the scale, E or Mi. Anyways, let's just quickly dive into how it can help with harmony and how it can help with melody. So, if we start with our one chord, Mi belongs in that chord. So we're good there, right? We have C, E, G for our one chord. So E is in there. Now, when we start adding it to other chords, it gets interesting. We have our two chord, which is D minor. If we add in that Mi, it's kind of like D minor add 9. So, and it gives us this cool half step between that 9 and the third of the chord, right? Okay, so if we go over to our 3 chord, that's an E minor chord. 3 chords, minor 3 chords are really cool anyways, right? Of course, Mi is the root of this chord, but 3 chords are a really cool chord to use in major. Kind of can be substituted for your dominant chord if you want something really mellow and somber. So minor 3 chords are a really cool chord to use anyways. Also, if you make that major, you can add some cool flavors in there. We talked about secondary dominance a couple weeks ago, right? That's the 5 of 6. Really cool chord. Okay, if we go to our 4 chord, we have F major. If we add that E in, makes it an F major 7 chord. Just such a cool chord. If we add it to our dominant chord, I wouldn't add the dominant 7 to this chord if you were going to add Mi to it. I would just make it a plain major chord. And then when you add that E, that Mi to it, it makes it a G major 6 chord. So like... gives it kind of a minor flair to it. It's really just an inverted minor 7 chord, but with a strong dominant root to it. Okay. If we add it to our minor 6 chord, it's already in there. So then if we add it to our 7 chord, you could go 2 ways. You could add it to your leading tone diminished chord, right? We have that. Which that is a cool sound. It's really kind of like that minor 2 chord with the add 9, because we have D, well we have B, D, F, A, E. So really the only new note is that B. So it's like we have this interesting hybrid chord between that D minor 9 and the B diminished chord. Okay, it's just a really cool sound. And I like to, right, probably wouldn't use that in worship music too much, but it's kind of cool. Now, if we add it to our flat 7 chord, our B flat major chord in the key of C, that is really cool. Right. We would consider that a sharp 11 chord. We are adding, just a sharp 11 in the key of B flat, adding that E in there, and it has this really cool, that's a tritone, right? That's 6 half step, that dissonant note. And then we could either go down or we could go up, right, by half step. So that's a really cool chord to use. So that is how it influences harmony. And basically it influences melody in the same way. You can throw that note on top of any chord. That note mi, you can throw it on top of any chord. I showed you how it works with all 7 diatonic chords and the flat 7 chord. So that means that this note, this mi, is going to work over any chord that you have in your progression, unless you have some crazy chords that break the scale. I mean, you could still try it anyways, but it just works really well. Let's prove that it works in any key. Also, let's play in the key of E flat major. So I'm going to just play a progression. Right. So I was using that mi in that improvisation, right? You can go as far as you want with this. You can keep it as simple as you like, but it has such cool flavors on every chord. And this works for minor keys as well. All you have to do is, instead of using the 3rd note of the scale, use the 5th one. So use so. And it'll work the same way on all of those chords, right? So I just wanted to share a little bit about my favorite note to improvise on in either major or minor scales, right? It can give you some really cool flavors. If you're not sure where to start with an improvisation, try there, right? And I encourage you to figure out what the other notes of the scale do to improvisation. How do they work well with chords? Another really good note to use is T, the 7th note of the major scale, or the 2nd note of the minor scale, right? That's a really cool note to use as well. It has a similar effect on chords that mi does, but I personally think mi is a little bit more versatile, but they both work the same way. And it's up to you. I encourage you to practice. That's really what this is all about. It's practice and find your sound, figure out what notes work well for you in your improvisation and your melody writing. This can be a really cool way to spice up your chords even. You don't even need to include melodies. Just throw these notes as extensions to your chords. Okay? That is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, please hit the like button. Please share and subscribe. Leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.